The 2008 National Electrical Code, or NEC, mandates ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFI, protection for bathrooms in new construction or during major renovations. However, if the project involves minor remodeling and doesn't entail significant structural changes, the code typically doesn't require adding GFI protection to existing bathrooms. In the provided scenario, the building was constructed in 1962. The work being performed involves minor remodeling, including replacing cabinets, plumbing fixtures, light fixtures, switches, receptacles, and carpeting. Since no walls or floors are being opened or altered, this work does not qualify as a major renovation. Therefore, based on the NEC guidelines, GFI protection is not required in the bathrooms. It's important to consult the specific edition of the NEC adopted by the local jurisdiction, as code requirements may vary. To determine whether an electrical project is considered a major renovation versus a minor remodel, several factors are considered. Firstly, the extent of the work being performed plays a crucial role. Major renovations typically involve significant structural changes, such as altering walls, floors, ceilings, or the building's overall layout. Minor remodeling, on the other hand, focuses on cosmetic upgrades and replacements without affecting the building's structural integrity. Secondly, the cost of the project is often taken into account. Major renovations usually involve a substantial financial investment, while minor remodels are typically less expensive. However, cost alone is not the sole determining factor. Thirdly, the impact on the building's electrical system is assessed. Major renovations may require extensive modifications to the electrical system, such as adding new circuits, upgrading the service panel, or rerouting wiring. Minor remodels generally involve minimal changes to the existing electrical system. Fourthly, the purpose of the project is considered. Major renovations are often undertaken to modernize the building, improve its functionality, or increase its value. Minor remodels are typically done to update the appearance of the building or to repair damaged components. To further illustrate the difference between major and minor renovations, consider a scenario where a homeowner decides to completely gut and remodel their bathroom. This would involve removing all existing fixtures, tearing down walls, and reconfiguring the layout of the bathroom. In this case, the project would be considered a major renovation and would require GFI protection for all receptacles installed in the bathroom. On the other hand, if the homeowner simply replaces the existing toilet, sink, and vanity without altering the walls or floors, the project would be considered a minor remodel and would not require GFI protection. It's important to note that even if GFI protection is not required by code, it is still highly recommended for bathrooms. GFI are designed to protect people from electrical shock by quickly interrupting the flow of electricity in the event of a ground fault. This can prevent serious injury or death. To install a GFI receptacle, follow these steps. Firstly, turn off the power to the circuit at the breaker box. Secondly, remove the existing receptacle from the electrical box. Thirdly, identify the line and load wires. The line wires are the wires that bring power to the receptacle from the breaker box, and the load wires are the wires that carry power from the receptacle to other devices. Fourthly, connect the line wires to the line terminals on the GFI receptacle. Fifthly, connect the load wires to the load terminals on the GFI receptacle. Sixthly, connect the ground wire to the ground terminal on the GFI receptacle. Seventhly, carefully push the GFI receptacle back into the electrical box and secure it with screws. Eighthly, turn the power back on at the breaker box and test the GFI receptacle to make sure it is working properly. To test the GFI receptacle, press the test button. The receptacle should trip and the power to the receptacle should be cut off. To reset the GFI receptacle, press the reset button. The power to the receptacle should be restored. If the GFI receptacle does not trip when the test button is pressed, or if it does not reset when the reset button is pressed, there may be a problem with the receptacle or the wiring. In this case, it is important to consult a qualified electrician. In addition to GFI protection, there are other safety considerations to keep in mind when working with electricity in bathrooms. Firstly, make sure that all electrical fixtures and appliances are properly grounded. Secondly, do not use electrical appliances near water. Thirdly, do not overload electrical circuits. Fourthly, do not run extension cords under rugs or carpets. Fifthly, do not attempt to repair electrical problems yourself. Always consult a qualified electrician. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards for electrical wiring and equipment in the United States. It is published by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and is updated every 3 years. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It is important to consult the NEC when planning and executing electrical work to ensure that the work is done safely and in compliance with code requirements. The NEC is organized into chapters, articles, and sections. Each section of the NEC provides specific requirements for electrical installations. To find the requirements for a particular type of electrical work, it is necessary to consult the appropriate section of the NEC. For example, to find the requirements for GFI protection in bathrooms, consult Article 210.8 of the NEC. Article 210.8 covers ground fault circuit interrupter protection for personnel. It specifies the locations where GFI protection is required, including bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. The NEC also provides tables that specify the minimum size of conductors and the ampacity of overcurrent protection devices. These tables are based on the type of conductor, the ambient temperature, and the number of conductors in a raceway or cable. It is important to use the correct size of conductors and overcurrent protection devices to ensure that the electrical system is safe and reliable. In addition to the NEC, many states and local jurisdictions have their own electrical codes. These codes may be more restrictive than the NEC. It is important to consult the local electrical code before starting any electrical work. Local electrical codes are typically enforced by local building departments. Building departments issue permits for electrical work and inspect the work to ensure that it complies with code requirements. It is important to obtain a permit before starting any electrical work to avoid fines and penalties. Electrical work can be dangerous. It is important to take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Firstly, always turn off the power to the circuit before working on it. Secondly, use insulated tools. Thirdly, wear rubber gloves and shoes. Fourthly, do not work in wet conditions. Fifthly, if you are not comfortable working with electricity, consult a qualified electrician. When working on an older building, it is important to be aware of the potential for asbestos and lead. Asbestos was commonly used as insulation in buildings built before the 1980s. Lead was commonly used in paint in buildings built before 1978. Asbestos and lead can be harmful to your health. If you suspect that asbestos or lead is present in a building, it is important to have it tested by a qualified professional. If asbestos or lead is found, it is important to have it removed or abated by a qualified contractor. The cost of electrical work can vary depending on the complexity of the project. It is important to get multiple bids from qualified electricians before starting any electrical work. Be sure to ask the electricians about their experience, their qualifications, and their insurance coverage. It is also important to get a written contract that specifies the scope of work, the materials to be used, and the cost of the project. When choosing an electrician, it is important to consider their experience, their qualifications, and their reputation. Ask for references from previous clients and check online reviews. It is also important to make sure that the electrician is licensed and insured. A licensed electrician has met the requirements of the state or local jurisdiction and is qualified to perform electrical work. Insurance protects you from liability if the electrician is injured on your property or if the electrician damages your property. When planning an electrical project, it is important to consider the future needs of the building. Will the building need more electrical capacity in the future? Will the building need new outlets or lighting fixtures? It is important to plan for these future needs to avoid having to redo the electrical work later. When installing new outlets, it is important to consider the location of the outlets. Outlets should be located in convenient locations and should be spaced evenly around the room. Outlets should also be located near areas where electrical appliances will be used. When installing new lighting fixtures, it is important to consider the type of lighting fixtures. There are many different types of lighting fixtures available, including incandescent fluorescent and light-emitting diode, or LED, fixtures. LED fixtures are the most energy-efficient type of lighting fixture and can save you money on your electricity bill. It's also worth noting that while the NEC may not require GFI protection in the described minor remodel situation, local codes may have stricter requirements. Always check with the local building department to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. Furthermore, even if not mandated, installing GFI receptacles is a relatively inexpensive way to significantly increase safety, especially in a bathroom environment where water is present. Finally, remember that electrical codes are constantly evolving to improve safety and reflect advancements in technology. Staying informed about these changes and consulting with qualified professionals are crucial for ensuring electrical work is performed safely and in compliance with current standards. Considering the age of the building, it might be prudent to have the entire electrical system inspected by a qualified electrician. This inspection can identify any potential hazards or code violations that may exist, even if they are not directly related to the current remodeling project. Addressing these issues proactively can prevent future problems and ensure the safety of the building's occupants. For example, the inspection might reveal outdated wiring, undersized service panels, or improper grounding, all of which can pose significant safety risks. Upgrading these components during the remodeling project can be a cost-effective way to improve the overall safety and reliability of the electrical system. Moreover, consider the potential benefits of adding arc fault circuit interrupters, or a size, to the electrical system. A size are designed to protect against fires caused by arcing faults, which can occur when damaged or deteriorated wiring creates an unintended electrical discharge. While a size may not be required for the bathroom remodeling project, they can provide an additional layer of protection against electrical fires throughout the building. When selecting electrical materials, choose high-quality products that are listed by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories or UL. UL listing indicates that the product has been tested and meets certain safety standards. Using UL-listed products can help to ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Also, consider the long-term benefits of investing in energy-efficient electrical upgrades. Replacing old, inefficient lighting fixtures with LED fixtures can significantly reduce energy consumption and lower electricity bills. Installing a smart thermostat can also help to optimize energy usage and reduce costs. These upgrades can not only save money but also improve the comfort and convenience of the building's occupants. Furthermore, ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified and licensed electrician. A licensed electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical work safely and in compliance with code requirements. Hiring an unlicensed contractor can result in shoddy workmanship, code violations, and potential safety hazards. Remember, safety is paramount.